Oh, hey. We're back. We just finished recording the Woodbox unboxing. If you guys missed that, you're gonna probably have to check it out on the YouTubes, on the main channel, where we do the stupid ass shows or whatever it is that we're doing, and not Let's Plays. But now that you're here and finally reacquainted with everything here, it is time to get a groove on with Tyranny. Cheers. Monsty at the ready. Continue. So we're at another spire. Let's figure this spire out and see what it has in store for us, right? Alrighty then. Now, since we're just starting out, time to take a look at some of these things. Ooh, what are these? Sigil of Lightning, Sigil of Frost. Lightning Charge Fist? No. Electric Jolt. So apparently you can put more of these things. You can assign this. There. We can do a rhyme spike. Oh, this thing has... Can do that. Affect the range and... Oh! Frozen and Mage Fire Affliction. Fire and Frost. Oh, that's kind of cool. This is a Concussive Bolt, Electric Jolt, and this is a Rhyme Spike. There we go. Okay. None of the other ones can use it, but this should be cool. Wait, let me see. How should we do? What is this again? This is my super duper thingamabob that we got going here together. I don't know that I need this. So let's do our... Wait. Let's put our blur there. We got our healing. Let's put our Titan Touch there. Yeah, that's our healings over here. Those are our buffs, basically. That's our main skill that we use. I could just not use this anymore. 8 to 9 piercing damage. Does it help? I don't know. What was that? Rhyme Spike over there. And then we have the Electric Jolt. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, that's whatever. I wonder if weapons can affect Let's take a look at what weapons we got here. So staffs. What do staffs actually? They don't give us lore or anything, right? Spells go off. I think the recovery is better, maybe. No, it's the same shit. Is this the staff is for far away? This does 8 frost damage? Oh, okay. Okay. Still don't know what is best for him. Deflection is... Wait, do I have something like... No. Wait. What are these things? Quest items, okay. Nice. Let's put some big potions there as well. Anything that... Wait. Ooh. Ooh. New scrolls to learn. We already know that one. Okay, cool. Oh, now I can... Which one was that? Frost? Frozen Grasp? Or Rain Spike. Cooldown. Oh. It's it's 100. This thing only gives us the range, right? Frozen and Mage Fire. Why does it change those? Actually, this is fine. It's better. I would say it's better. Did I get anything new? Oh, we did get something new here. Sigil of Rooting. Concussive Bolt. It adds Rooted. Ah, I see. Okay. Now I understand. Okay, guys. Let's take a look. Interesting rune. This sunken relief, though heavily damaged, is clearly meant to depict a runic symbol similar to the one you saw at the Ascension Hall. The relief is incomplete, and thus the final form of the rune is unknown. Take a charcoal rubbing. Pressing charcoal to parchment, you capture the blurry but proportionate image on ancient relief. With enough collected imprints, it may be possible to reconstruct the original shape of the rune. See how the patterns look broken along two edges? I think there's more to the engraving than what's here. Then we'll look for more. Agreed. If we collect enough sketches and imprints, we could no doubt reconstruct the original image in its entirety.
Right.
The door creates a near perfect. Okay. Those were. Well, you know what? Let's take a rest. Let's clear off all of the wounds. Take that with us. Let's do a quick save again. Oh, misty. You must gather your party.
I'm seeing a lot in this room I'd like to sketch. But we should keep moving.
Okay. Ooh.
Shh.
Wow. The chamber immediately reminds you of Ascension Hall. An intricate rune running along the floor can only mean one thing. You stand at the feet of a great spire. Each step you take echoes across a great distance. As you gaze upwards, the sage-colored walls quickly give way to unending blackness. The rune in the center of the floor is inactive, and the silence in the hall offers no clues as to its use or function. You feel a slight tug in your chest, a faint echo of the energy that enveloped you at Vendrian's Well. Hold a moment. If my sense of direction is at all reasonable, we are standing below the spire of this region. What do you know of the spires? About as much as you, I'm afraid. Until our time at Vendrian's Well, I didn't realize there were ways to access the upper reaches. Speaking of which, I'm certain there's a way to access the top of this spire as well. Let's keep our eyes out at sigils or glyphs nearby. What do you recommend? I'd start with the grooves and stones on the floor over there. If it's like the spire at Vendrian's Well, whomever built this created a mystical conduit to the top, and I think it very, very unlikely that the pattern is purely decorative. Okay.
If I had a copper ring for every glyph I've sketched today.
Let's take a look at that. These grooves in the floor are inlaid with a dim incandescent material that glimmers upon closer inspection. They appear to intersect at various angles. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Let's do that. Pressing charcoal, blah blah blah. Then the draw rune remains incomplete. It seems likely that the completed design is symmetrical in nature. Should the need arise, you could reasonably guess its original shape. Can we actually see that thing? Determine the significance of the rubbing. A portion of an unknown sigil has been recorded on this scroll. The charcoal imprint is rough and incomplete, leaving the full design a mystery for now. As per our verbal agreement, you are allowed entry into the old walls at Lithian's Crossing with the explicit instructions to find a path to the Bronze Brotherhood campsite on the other end. Any items acquired inside the old walls will be yours to keep in exchange for your help in this matter. Ironguard Vintara. This metal pole could prove useful as a source of leverage. After examining the rubbing, you found that it was only a partial image of a symbol that continue your search determines what its significance might be, or search for more of the image. Let's see what happens here. I still can't. Wait, let's see. A door creates a near-perfect seal with the surrounding walls. Along its surface you see several chips and shallow gouges from failed attempts to force it open. There is nothing to interact with on its panels, and you surmise that it was never meant to be opened from this side. Okay. So let's try to see if we can do the glyph thing. All of the markings so I think oh wow. I don't know if this does anything. It did. So the full-on circles and the two triangles. Alright, I think that was like the reset. Here we go, up the spire. Alright. Sweet. The arcane light curses skyward, trailing off toward the horizon in the direction of Vendrian's Well. You feel the ground ripped out from beneath you yet again as you drift back into the warmth of the energy surrounding you. Your awareness sketches beyond the limits of the spire, pulling in many directions at once. The light you saw arching through the sky reminds you of the tether you felt on the top of Avendrian's well. This too is a point of connection, and you are an inextricable part of it, bound as surely as the spire are to each other.
Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Did he just level? The Sunset Spire in Lethiel's Crossings feels burdened by its age, as if a central linchpin somewhere in its core has weathered the centuries of oppressive weight and longs to topple. The surge of energy that courses through you, forming a link with Vendrian's well, strengthens the very stones beneath your feet. The structural weakness you detected vanishes, replaced by confidence that could keep this tower standing for millennia. And tell me where you're writing from, and how to reach you, and I will send you an iron ring for your troubles. I had this idea of a message in a bottle without the bottle. Maybe it'll work. If I threw a dagger from up here, I wager it could split a man on the ground in half. Damn, but I want to try. From here, even the old walls seem paltry. This sovereign view was not intended for the likes of us. The spire feels like a relay between you and the Vendrian well, bridging some transference of energy on an enormous scale. You are the first link of a chain that stretched the length of the realm. As you struggle to understand this sensation, you grow aware of whispers all around you. Listen closer. The whispers themselves seem to travel down the tether between you and your spires, multiple, conducting heat that feels at times unbearable. They speak of your actions, your choices, everything that led you to this place. Your name is known, your banner recognized, your deeds reported across the tiers and the Northern Empire alike. For an instant, you can see that the accumulated hope and fear these whispers represent. It appears like dewdrops settling on a leaf, then trickling into a shared basin. This image is fed to you through your connection, a base metaphor that only hints at the true scope. There is power in these spires, though its source is unfamiliar. Were you to harness it, you suspect that nothing would stand beyond your reach. I feel strange. I don't know what you've done, but standing near you warms my rusted plates. Makes me feel lighter somehow. Curious. I'm noting something I also observed at the spire in Vendrian's well. There's a mystic hum, and it has little beats when you walk, tiny fluctuation when you talk. Unless my senses are deceiving me, you and the spires are mystically attuned to each other. Most fascinating indeed. You look taller somehow, like you could command a dozen gangs without any challengers to knife you in the back. Ooh, nice. Sunset Spire, Lethian's Crossing. Mountain Spire. Quest complete. New quest. Seats of Power. Claim the remaining spires in the tiers. Ooh. 3 more. Power is 600 now? I have no idea what that means. Ooh. Wait, library, training grounds, forge, infirmary? Oh. Interesting. So here we can recruit someone that helps us out. Here we can build something. Okay. Oh, you guys both leveled up. Wow. Apparently this is better because our lore goes up. So we're gonna do that for now. Accuracy 15 is good enough. Now, oh boy, I need to get the lore master 3, so that means I still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more from these things. Let's see. Gain a passive bonus to subterfuge and dodge skills. Empowers Watcher's Judgment to strike foes near the target with an arcane attack. Enemies have their endurance, will, and magic defense reduced. Stance. Mage Slayer. While in this stance, Lantry attacks drain magical energy from their targets, silencing them and lowering their magic skills. That's kind of cool. Frozen. While in this stance, Lantry's attacks are imbued with the power of frost and will slow enemies. Bonus experience for lore skills and a bonus spell slot. Let's do that. And you got another talent. Okay, let's see. Increase the defensive benefits from shields. That's kind of good. Clash of Iron bolsters the strength of his nearby allies, granting them a bonus to armor for a short time. These are the... further increases the number of enemies that bear can engage. I still don't know what that means correctly. Does he attack more times? I don't know. Let's do this. The Voice of Kairos. Oh, so this is a secondary quest. Okay. You have acquired a second spire. All spires are linked, allowing you to travel instantly between them. New message arrived. This will reduce your travel time through the tiers. You can upgrade spires you discover, building new structures on top of them. Each upgrade will provide you with different benefits. Click on the spire icon, okay, to upgrade your new spire. Maintenance not paid. Upgrades take time and money to build and money to maintain. If you no longer have the money to maintain an upgrade, it will be suspended and will no longer receive its benefits until you are able to pay its maintenance cost. There are 5 resources you can find in Kairos' tiers that can be used to power upgrades to your spire. There are scrolls, iron ingots, bronze ingots, alchemy supplies, and hides. Each upgrade uses different resources. Okay. So, let's see. On the subject of the spires, the court is all abuzz with the news of the Civil War. Representatives from the chorus and the disfavored are having little shouting matches in front of Tunon. The petitioners to the court seem swept up in talks of who will crush whom and if and when Tunon will bring down the gavel and stop the fighting. What has me more intrigued is the other story of our out of Vendrian's Well. Tunon sends you on what I thought was going to be a one-way trip to the well, and not only do you live, you somehow claimed the mountain spire, and you broke Kairos' edict too. Such things make a little civil war seem so trivial in comparison, at least to those who can separate the message from the noise. Tell me, what was it like to break the edict, and how it is you took control of the spire? Explain the experiences as best you can. Simply said, the edict simply said that an agent of the Overlord must claim Ascension Hold before Kairos' Day of the Swords. The only thing I consciously did was take charge of the battle to claim Ascension Hall. My claiming of the spire happened just moments after I felt the edict grip release. The floor of Ascension Hall gave way, unearthing a glowing pattern buried beneath the chamber floor. Kairos only knows how long it's been buried under the tile. As for how I actually claimed the spire, it is perhaps a mutual bond. Atop the spire is an old structure, a twin-tined edifice. I'll include a sketch. Hey there. What happened? I'll include a sketch on the back of the parchment. The structure spoke to me in sensation and images, and it seems to respond to my presence in some limited capacity. That is what happened as best as I can think to describe it. Does any of this sound familiar or bring to mind any old stories or rumors? Okay, let's see. Let's do a quick save. Construct a library on a spiral allows you to research magical knowledge, edicts, and artifacts. Once built, resting in any spire grants bonus to lore and all magic skills. Constructing training grounds allows you to recruit the finest skill trainers in the tiers. Once built, resting in a spire grants a bonus to accuracy, athletics, and subterfuge. Okay. The forge upgrade allows you to improve weapons and armor and forge powerful new items. Once built, resting in a spire grants bonus to armor, parry, and dodge. Okay. The infirmary allows you to brew potions and other consumables. Endurance, will, and magic. Okay. Let's build a forge, I guess. Are you sure you want to build this upgrade on the spire? This action cannot be cancelled. Ooh, you have constructed a forge on one of your spires. The forge is a source of powerful weapons and armor. Mages from the Forgebound will be called to your forge, where they can construct powerful items, including rare artifacts. Maintenance cost. Is this something that I always have to do? Apparently, I guess. I don't know. Wait, what happened, boy? Didn't you go? Oh lord, oh lord, oh lord. There's Siren and Ebb. You guys want to talk to him. Okay. Still don't know how I can change my party. There has to be a way. Greetings, Fatebinder. How may I help you? I want you to forge something for me. Certainly, Fatebinder. Oh ho ho. Holy shit balls. Enchanted cloth slippers. Wait, why? Wait, after paying or what? Headhunter. So you guys have tickets for tomorrow. Great. Is it still gonna be like in English or is it gonna be German then? Oh, these are cool. A sorcerer's blade. Oh, you got your money back. Okay, that's cool. Hey, sorry for that really sucks. Thank you, man. You too. Have a nice day, dude. Is this a shield? Only Barrack can equip this. Pride of the Forgotten. Minus 50% all damage taken while health is below 35%. Oh. That's cool. Okay, what else can I talk to you? I found references to a dagger called Heart's Blood. What can you tell me about it? Heart's Blood, really? Let me see that book. This is incredible. Unfortunately, the information in the book isn't sufficient for me to recreate it. If you were able to give me more information on it, I could probably make it for you. I found this hilt in the old walls. What can you tell me about it? This looks like the hilt of Sentinel, one of the finest swords the Forge-bound have ever made. With this, I could recreate it if you want. Sentinel? Tell me about the Forge. If you want to upgrade your weapons and armor, you can use any of the anvils. It should be simple enough if you got the materials. If you need something that requires a master smith, like forging a one-of-a-kind item, come talk to me and I'll see what I can do. Sentinel. Sentinel can be created with access to the Spire Forge. Yeah, it broken hilt. We need 15 bronze ingots and 60 bronze rings. What is this? A two-handed sword, I think. Accuracy 6, recovery 1.5. It gives us it gives us 86. Okay. Plus 5% health while has wounds every 6 seconds. What? That sounds awesome. Surefoot Scale Graves. Okay, that's that. What is this? Sigil of Piercing. Oh, now I have 2 of them. What? I'll gladly take those. Thank you very much. Oh, hell yeah. What is this? A small settlement raised on the bank of the large river. Is this like everything the same? Select a weapon or armor from your inventory to upgrade. Upgrades to superior. So what's the difference? Oh, the damage goes up. Recovery stays the same. Armor penetration goes up. For instance, like this. Recovery is better and accuracy is better. We need hides. Okay. Okay, nice to know. That's pretty much it. Let's talk to Siren.
Good day, Fatebinder. It's always nice to see you. What do you need?
Oh. Add Siren to the party. Wait. Let me try something. Let's do this.
Good day, Fatebinder. It's always... What do you need? Well then, let's go. If you're...
I will return to our holdfast at once.
If I do this...
Be seeing you, Fatebinder.
I just want to take a look at them first. Okay. Siren. Wait. What do you have? You have a staff? What is this? Is this it's a two-handed thing? It's a staff, magic staff. Performance skill, okay. Okay, that's bound to you. So in that case, you need magic staffs. Athletics, no. Performance is something that you need. You don't need that. You have more dodge than parry? I don't know. I guess two-handed weapons is also something. We don't care about that. I don't think so. Anyway. There's probably something that wants to be from afar. So we'll leave those. You got 5 points. Let me see your skills. Songs, peace, war. Siren recalls a happy memory and begins to sing. The power in her voice creates an embodiment of her memory that will serve to protect her and the party by forcing nearby enemies to attack it. As long as Siren is not wearing heavy armor, Guise of Innocence will now grant her 50% critical deflection. Siren releases a quick sonic blast that deals crush damage to enemies and forcefully pushes them away from her. Oh, she's interesting. And these are the songs. Whew. Interesting indeed. Well, she is magic, so I want to get that up. You're also magical. You also have a two-handed what? Magic staff. And control Gravelight. Okay. Interesting. So let's not do that. Magic staff, yes. No athletics, no subterfuge. Lore, yes. Maybe dodge. Okay. Like dodge, parry, lore is always good. Control Gravelight, lightning, and tide casting. Gonna leave those on. You got 4 points, so obviously we're gonna do this. Up, save it. Let's take a look at your things. You got Tidal and Gravelight. Ooh, okay. So water-based. Magic staves. Repelling wave. Create a powerful nova of water that repels all nearby enemies, pushing them back a fair distance. Send a charge bolt of arcane energy to a foe that bounces to hit nearby enemies. Magic defense. Moonlight grants a significant bonus to control Gravelight skills. Okay. Teratus's Gate. Ebb uses Gravelight to teleport across the battlefield. Enemies near her cast and destination location are hit with a Gravelight attack that drains health. Those are cool. Okay. So I can just talk to Lantry now and...
So, your latest acquisition has me thinking about the spires some more. By all accounts, they go as far back as the old walls. Over the centuries, the nobles of the tiers have claimed the spires, but they've only ever battled over the land at the ground level of the monuments. I've never seen the glyphs of a spire light up in all my years. Not until you show up. If this were an isolated incident, I'd be confused. But it It seems the spires, plural, are somehow connected to you. What's your secret?
I've studied at Tunon's feet, proclaimed edicts, broken them too. I'm sure I've been exposed to all sorts of arcane powers. I always want to know what you're thinking.
My mind is going back to Ascension Hall. I wonder if Gravenash or Narot had claimed it as their own, would the spire come alive for either of them the way it did for you?
Probably, so I'll count my good fortune it was me.
Exactly. I mean, imagine if the voices of Narot had control of the spires. On second thought, don't imagine that too much.
Let's talk further. So what's on your mind? Add Lantry. Okay.
I will, I can sober up on the road. Ready to go.
He keeps doing that.
I'll tack I will meet you at the spire.
All right. Oh, wait, what is this? Lantry. We have gained Wheel of Ages. The Fainbuyer and the Lantry work together to create a slowing aura around the party member. Foes within range of the aura are slowed. When party members move inside the aura, they will have their hostile effects suspended. Okay. Interesting. Let's talk to Verse. Apparently she wants to talk to me. Our gang is building quite a little collection of spires, aren't we? The Voices of Narod was never one for keeping strongholds, but I can definitely see the appeal. Why doesn't the Voices like strongholds? Because there's no point in standing still. The Voices prefers to keep his forces busy on the move, with the only restful hours between dusk and dawn. Besides, fighters in motions are less likely to rise up and challenge authority. Safety in numbers, but once you get people hunkering down to discuss their problems, suddenly everyone has a reason to kill the closest gang boss. What do you think of the spires? They're big, but make no mistake, a determined army could knock one down if they got enough shovels and picks together. Don't be so quick to assume that you're invincible. I know. As to what they are, I try not to ask those sorts of questions. I have questions for you.
What do you need?
I would like to discuss your apparent connection with Barrack.
You've just got to know, don't you? I suppose there's no point in hiding it. Barrack and I are siblings. We share a father, if little else.
Really?
I try not to think too much about some northern merchant dropping anchor in my mother's port, but it happened, and the fortunate result stands proudly before you.
How did you two become aware of this?
There were a lot of lazy days during the conquest, and among other things, I spent my off hours using messenger birds as target practice. You should have seen Ash's anger when he heard that was going on. One day, I snagged a bird that flew from the hands of a proud northern daddy. The missive was about the goings-on at the family farm. I recognized the name and handwriting from a note in my mother's belongings. There weren't too many people named Barrack in the army, so tracking him down was no challenge. I cornered him in camp, and we shared a few heated words. Some blackmail, even.
She tried to extort rings from me, and I was having none of it. Not even Graven Ash would think less of me for our father's indiscretion.
I like your confidence, but my ring belt is feeling a little light these days. Maybe you want to take me up on that offer, or I can start whispering in disfavored ears. Think about it.
Do you even like each other?
I've tried to get along with that ironclad knot of repression, but it would seem he's having none of it. Good riddance, then. The war's tossed us together, but nothing says we have to keep that going. The most we do for each other is try not to get the other one killed, which is more than you can say for most disfavored in Scarlet Chorus.
How has this affected you, Barrack?
Well, Verse has a nasty habit of jabbering in my ear and making this war intolerable. I plan on parting ways and returning to the north at first convenience. My father will answer for his infidelity. Beyond that, I am happy to consider myself in every way unaffected. My superiors once accused me of having an impulsive streak, but I have worked to suppress it at every turn.
When you go back home, send Father my fondest greetings and thanks. If he hadn't gone to ground on my mother's dry dock, I might not be here today.
My heritage was a point of pride and distinction before I met you, Verse. Not that you would care.
Have you noticed any significant impact, Verse?
I've asked myself about that several times, but unfortunately I don't have what you'd call a definitive answer.
You don't?
The Northerners put a lot of meaning behind family and blood. Seems arbitrary to me, but I don't want to discredit it entirely. I told you about what happened to my Scarlet Fury sisters. The hesitation I experienced. Sometimes I wonder if that wasn't because of my connection to Barrack. He's stubborn, regimented, everything I'm not. I suppose there's no telling for sure, but if I had to guess... yeah. Sometimes I get messed up in my head, and learning I had a brother has helped me understand that better.
Let me ask you something else, if we must.
What do you need?
Later. Okay. Let's do a save. Cool, so I can't really do anything right now. Let's go back down. Let's go back to the Runic Hall. See if we can do anything else here. Now that this thing's open. Maybe. No, still nothing. Okay. I guess not. What are my quests? Okay. Bastard City, Bastard City. Alright. Let's go. We've done most of the things I can. I wonder what the farming element to this game is. Also, in the autopause, let's take this off. I want to see how that is. How that's gonna be. That's where I am. Okay, okay. So I could do this directly, right? Yeah. But I don't want to do that. I want to do this. Oh. We did end up doing that. Interesting that the game does that. Wow. We leveled up because why? Report to Tunon. But first, it's time for her to get her accuracy up. Yes. I don't care about that. Subterfuge, yes. You're still our skirmisher, so I need one more point in here. Superior to parry, use dodge skills to avoid incoming. And superior to parry, use dodge. Okay. Gain immunity to the burning and bleeding. And versus in the party, all members gain bonus experience for dual wield bows and athletic skills. Let's do that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take one more to be able to do that there. Right? Because it doesn't affect this, because we need 6 in total. Spent in the skirmisher 3. Yes. What do we have here? Receive a missive. You are certainly not the first to proclaim an edict. Many of us have been. Dear Guy, your summation is most fascinating. Thank you for sharing. You are certainly not the first to proclaim an edict. Many of us have been used to complete the task casting of the Overlord's magic. And you aren't the first to break an edict, though the list of names is a smaller, more exclusive list. What's curious, though, living and recorded memory make no mention of someone who proclaimed and shattered the same edict. In that regard, you are an anomaly. The bad news is, the Archons know this and will be suspicious of this distinction. Along with this parchment, I have included the contact information of the Honorable Fatebinder Myothis, an old peer of mine and perhaps the most knowledgeable in the court on matters not taught to us by Tunon. Treat her with respect and she will not betray your confidence. Best of luck, Guy. I think things are about to get even stranger for you. Fatebinder Rogalis. Okay. Lady Lucretius. Mocking Blaze. Aurora. Albetronus. Severus, I know that guy. Oh, they're gonna be pissed off with me. Blood Mulch, Bitter Quip, hey. Fatebinder, Nunoval, Callio, and Rogalis. Ah, there you are. Ooh, Tunon. Floating little guy, aren't you? Okay. Lady Lucretius. Oh, greetings. And Lucretius, formerly of Thistleholm. You have the look of someone who belongs here, a Fatebinder, no doubt. Do you need something from me? What are all these nobles doing in Tunon's court? Trying to look brave, I warrant. But if you crane an ear to any of their conversations, you'll hear a different tale. 3 years since Tunon set up shop in the Bastard City, we're still getting used to our new masters and figuring out what we can and can't ask of them. These are smart, ring-plenty folk. The way they approach Tunon, you'd think they were raised under a tyrant's lash. Some have come to settle a grievance, others to pledge fealty. I've been standing around long enough to know that the adjudicator doesn't care for empty gestures. How has the Bastard City fared since the conquest? Kairos' forces took the city as we expected them to. Without mercy or restraint, the Scarlet Chorus spilled more blood than we had to give. We've suffered our share of hardship, but it seems that Kairos wants us alive. That's a more generous outcome than some of us were led to believe. What brings a noble like yourself to Tunon's court? Like the rest of the frightened inbreds here, I came to see Tunon and ask him to right a wrong. My manor was destroyed during the conquest. I told the adjudicator my vows, but we didn't exactly see eye to eye. Tell me of yourself. I'm the daughter of a noble house. We were wealthy enough to live in the city, but our means beyond that were limited. My mother dealt in fish, textiles, and bronze. But the time I inherited, the business was taking care of itself. Of course, all of that has changed. Thistleholm is no more, and my name has none of its former weight. Even if we were still in business, Kairos' laws would stifle our trading rights. Among other things, Kairos' laws of quota and sharing regulates tradable goods. Permits are issued to deserving merchants. Yeah, I remember that. Perhaps it's better that way. What is Thistleholm? It was my family's ancestral hall. The oldest stones dated back to the years when the Bastard City was not but a bronze roof and wagons clustering for warmth. Okay. I would invite you over for tea, something stronger even, but it would only disappoint. You find naught there but a gaping hole. Okay, maybe I did something for that. I don't know. What happened? Collateral damage happened. When the adjudicator cast his judgment on the Bastard City, he destroyed the districts of the corrupted merchant kings, their manors, their counting houses, and yes, their warehouses. Age-defined Thistleholm collapsed as a massive sinkhole opened under her foundation. The Bastard City's laws may not have been perfect by Kairos' standards, but my family followed them with respect, and never took a copper ring more than we deserved. I can't help but feel that my estate was not the criminal Tunon had in mind during his sentencing. So what are you going to do next? That's the question, isn't it? I appealed to the adjudicator, thinking he would see reason. After considering my case for all of 8 seconds, he awarded me a belt of rings and a plot of land on the outskirts of the city. Tunon told me to build anew and start farming. Farming? Can you believe that? It's not that it's not even that I'm opposed to the labor, but we're in a war. I can't have the Scarlet Chorus breathing down my neck, raiding my crops, and Kairos knows what else. Tunon's word is Kairos' law, whether you think it fair or not. Kairos' laws are made to serve the masses, not the individual. I mean, Tunon's word is Kairos' law, because he is the Archon of Justice? Let's do this one. Laws are made to serve the masses, not the individual. I can appreciate that, especially when there's suffering or corruption on a grand scale. It all makes sense on parchment, doesn't it? I come from a long line of smart, ring-savvy merchants, but even I can't reconcile Tunon's justice with Kairos' law. There's something wrong about it all. Maybe Tunon knows something I don't. Or maybe... What do you mean? People come here for justice. They usually get a version of it. But it's Tunon's version, not theirs. Half of the time, they don't even get what they wanted out of a ruling in their favor. The deed to a farm, for instance. Not to put my own ignorance on display, but if more people knew how Kairos' laws worked, they might not come here seeking a ruling at all, even a fair one. Tunon is a servant of law, but he's the Overlord's vassal as much as any of us. Sometimes it seems like he uses his position to twist everything in the Empire's favor. We're just pieces on a board, and he can move us wherever the law justifies what we stand. That doesn't sound, well, legal. Kairos defines law. That isn't for either of us to question. I suppose not. The bastard city used to have the laws of women and mankind, but now we have the laws of the Overlord. The people will get accustomed to it in time, and so will I. Good day, Fatebinder. Oh. Quill in hand, you loom over a blank sheet of parchment. You have Binder Myothis contact information in hand and contemplate your opening words. I don't have 500 rings. Dear Fatebinder Myothis, I write to you at the urging of my peer and tutor Fatebinder. He has found himself bereft of answers, a rare condition for him, and suggested you may be the only source of the answers I seek. If you will pardon the imposition, it would mean a great deal to learn what you know of Kairos' edicts and the magic of the spires. The mountain spire of the Tears has awoken to my presence, and even that occurred moments after I resolved an edict of Kairos'. So it's critical that I learn just what has happened to me and what it all means. I thank you in advance for your considering and wisdom. Okay, cool. Let's see, what is this? Any petitioners that displeased Tunon would meet their fate in the pits below. Oh. This should be good. Hello. Oh, can I actually talk to you guys? No.
yourselves officers of Kairos' army, but your conduct falls short of my expectations. The court finds your accounts of Vendrian's well lacking, rife with misdirection and fallacy, fouled with baseless accusation.
The shadows beneath Tunon's cloak darken and flare around him. Murmurs of unease erupt in the court. Listen. Albatronos. Okay, let's clear our throat a little bit. This is gonna be a lot of reading. Ooh, I got things to munch on. Okay. Your Honor, I have relayed the events as I experienced them. You can well imagine why my version conflicts with this. Oh, my honor, and on that of the great general, I would sooner snap my sword than perjure myself before you, Archon. Oh, so you imply that falsehood comes easier to my lips than yours. You're a fool if you believe that. Archon of Justice won't see through your lies because the disfavored think themselves better than an honest gang.
Silence. The contradictions in your statements will be examined, and falsities threshed from truths. If we find you have perjured yourselves, Blooded Mark will see to your fate.
Blooded Mark is Kairos' knife in the shadows, the unseen drop of poison that enforces the Overlord's will. He reports to Tunon the Adjudicator, serving in his capacity as the final word to those who hold Kairos' law in contempt. Few know the origin of the Archon of Shadows, or how Kairos maintains a hold of him. Those who anger the Archon never live long past sunset.
Fatebinder, we will start with the matter of the Archons. Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat have declared war upon each other.
Yes.
In addition to violating Kairos' peace, they have thrown the conquest of the Tears into disarray. By all accounts, these hostilities began shortly after your arrival. Tell us what transpired.
Okay, so the Voices of Nerat may have killed Graven Ash's son, or worse. The Archons could not agree on who should lead the siege and descended into accusations of treachery. It seemed a mutual spat. The Archons have been of different minds since the start of this war. I mean, it is true that we have seen that. You must be mistaken, I wasn't present. What? It seemed they never got along. The disfavored were more deserving of the honor. Our tactics and training outmatched the Vendrian Guard at every turn. What balderdash? The disfavored couldn't tip over a straw hut if they had a week to strategize. Our howling mob was better equipped to overwhelm the Vendrian Guard. Our recruits were ready to throw themselves at the enemy, if only Ash and his legion would agree to a plan.
The Fatebinder presents testimony. I warn you both against speaking out of turn. Something more than a mere disagreement unraveled this campaign. But I will return to that in time. Let us speak of Ascension Hall. From all accounts, it would seem you were instrumental in its capture, or so the petitioner of the Scarlet Chorus testifies. The disfavored commander has a dimmer view of the matter. Lend me your perspective.
I joined with the Scarlet Chorus. We took the Citadel with an unstoppable advance.
The edict meant certain doom if the siege failed. So why, when your survival depended on it, did you join your strength to the Scarlet Chorus and not the elite disfavored?
Petty squabbles clouded Gravenash's judgment. He was too mired in assaulting the voices. He was too mired in assaulting the voices to conquer the Citadel properly. Okay. I don't know. I guess the voices of Narat was willing to win the Citadel at any cost. Ashes value his army more than his duty to Kairos. I don't know if that's true. It seems like it's true, but he was pissed. For a long while, the adjudicator hovers in silence, shadows trailing from below his robes.
I will consider this testimony at length. The court thanks you for it. Is there anything you wish to add at this time? Your testimony is accepted by the court. The statements of our guests raise questions in my mind. There is much about this campaign that has caused me to wonder. A shipment of iron weapons was short on arrival. Where coveted iron is concerned, I don't believe it to be a clerical error. One of my agents recovered this seal in Echo Call. It belongs to a merchant collective. Lethian's Crossing is teeming with their kind. If you would root out treachery, I would advise starting there.
Lethian's Crossing?
Petitioners, leave us. I would have a private audience with the Fatebinder. Ascend and join me. You will find the way opened.
Speak with Tunon privately. Oh boy. Do these guys just leave? Question mark? Or do they just sit there? Okay. Now I'm curious. Can I talk with them? Fatebinder, you return. You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. Ask, I am feeling generous. Oh boy. Tell me about some of the past Archons. Much that was known has been lost regarding the first Archon of Frost, but his talents were improved upon by 3 following Archons, sisters born together and never since seen apart. It is said Rana, Nirabel, and Slayer were so called at birth that they were taught stillborn. Where did you study when you were younger? I've been a ward of the court for as long as I've been aware. As a child, I demonstrated wholly perfect recall, and I absorbed all that Tunon and my tutors had to offer. I remember hating all the lectures and wishing I could learn at my pace. Funny how I envied the sages of the Tears, how they could spend their whole lives reading and never exhausted their library. Of course, now that the Vellum Citadel is nothing more than a burning waste. Oops. What do you think about the other Fatebinders? You'll need to be more specific than that, I'm afraid. There is, on last counts, slightly more than a handful of us. A Fatebinder of War. Nunaval's keen, brash, and hearty braggart with a fondness for bloodshed. He can be utterly unbearable at times. His justice is fair, even if he skews toward rather exacting and uncompromising punishments at times. Fatebinder of Balance. Callio is the finest among us. Her discernment is beyond reproach, and she is perhaps Tunan's favorite. She has a mind for suspicion and observation that makes others unease. We who operate within the confines of the law have nothing to fear, of course. What's your opinion of me? I have pondered your impulsive nature. It vexes me constantly. Your support of the Scarlet Chorus only affirm my belief that you are among the more severe and unpredictable members of our office. Can you tell me about the Old Walls and the Bane? With which should I start? Old Walls. We know little enough about the ancient structures, save that they predate all historical record. Okay. The forbidding ruins crisscrossed the tiers and north alike centuries before we raised our cities. The only one old enough to guess is likely Kairos. Tell me of the Bane. The Bane are found in the Old Walls, but much of their defining qualities still escape me. They are creatures of smoke, claw, and fang. If you find yourself unfortunate enough to fight one, remember that spells are effective against them, but grab the attention of others lurking near. Ah, okay. I'd like to know more about the tiers. Oh boy. The political entities of the tiers are essentially split between the Bastard City tier, the Younger Realms, and the Free Cities. Of which would you like to know? Bastard tier. The Bastard tier is the most northern of the tiers and was the first to bow to Kairos. Kairos' reign. Though the knee they bent fell unwillingly. Kairos had his eye on the Bastard tier for many years before he marched on her capital city. This is the hub of trade and commerce. Claim the markets and the people will follow. The Younger Realms. The Younger Realms sprawl the middle and southernmost tiers and can be catalogued as follows: Apex, Azure, Haven, and Stalwart. Azure was renowned for its exceptional fertile land, which fed the whole of the tiers. That was before Kairos' Edict of Stone blighted the land. Ugh. Okay. Stalwart is also worth mention, for it comprises the whole of the southernmost tier and proves the toughest and most defensible of the realms. It is often said that the other realms will not fall while Stalwart yet stands. The local army wages bitter war against the disfavored, though the Edict of Storms has cut off the best of their defenses. It is only a matter of time before Stalwart falls. Okay. What of the Free Cities? There are 3 free cities remaining: Last Harbor, Spiral's Maw, and Barrising Chains. Barrising Chains? Alice in Chains? Is that a reference to a band? A rock band? Okay. The first and strongest of the 3 cities was the Setting Sun, which Kairos crushed in 429 with the Edict of Tumult. After that, the remaining 3 cities were quick to surrender. Sages. I will not speak of the sages. They are no better than charlatans and cons, wholly selfish in their ill pursuit to hoard all knowledge from others. They are self-binded by their own deception and clever manipulations. They alone caused their own undoing and are solely to blame for the burning library. I was there. one of the most grievous of wrongs in the known histories for which they can never be forgiven. Alright, we've learned a lot. Let's talk to the war guy. Ah, Guy, you returned, unscathed and more acclaimed than ever, as seems to be your way. Come, you must regale me with all that your journey has held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. Speak as you wish. I'd pay a boar's weight in rings to know your thoughts. Come, let us speak freely. How were you singled out to become a Fatebinder? I cannot speak of the other Fatebinders, but I joined the court when I was yet still a boy and impetuous beyond reason. I had been imprisoned with a death sentence for the crime of desecrating corpses. Oh God. It was nothing so exciting as you've no doubt imagining. I was merely burning corpses that awaited burial. Before the local authorities could see me to the gallows, the adjudicator claimed me a great talent waiting to be realized, needing only to be steered. Why was it a crime? There was a time when even the Northmen were of a superstitious stock. A time before Kairos brought reason to the realms. The people of my city believed that without proper rites, I was cheating our fallen warriors from returning to the land. So why burn the bodies then? Corpses piling in the streets spread plague faster than the filthiest of rats. I was but 10 and a weak fighter. I did what I could for my homeland. Very smart. It's a good thing Tunon spared you. As I have said, the adjudicator saw within me something of rare value, as it is true for us all. You as well were chosen for our great court, for which I am grateful. As a Fatebinder of war, I rely heavily on your talents. I'm curious about Tunon's masks. They can be rather unsettling, can't they? Even to one such as me, but I can assure you, the innocent need not fear their objective, emotionless glaze. What of the adjudicator's masks specifically? What about the silent face? Where are these things? The silent face is the face that Tunon shows to us now, and for that we are fortunate beyond belief. The silent face is a patient face. A face for listening as Tunon presides over all matters brought to the court, taking great pains to ensure all sides of an issue are heard. The face of resolve. Tunon's last known dawning of the face of resolve was the moment he judged and called ruin to half the districts of the bastard city. Since then, he has ruled our northern tier justly, calmly, and with efficient diplomacy. What about the face that is no more? Tunon is said to have worn a third mask in eons past. I have heard rumors that the face displeased Kairos and thus was destroyed, as happens to all persons and objects that displease our overlord. Have you ever seen Tunos change his masks? In the way that you or I would change our raiment? No, not as such. And yet I have seen the masks shift. They switch without the adjudicator or anyone so much as laying a hand on them. It's not something you can watch unfold. After a time, you merely realize it has already happened. There is work enough for a court that we wouldn't occupy ourselves wondering over mysteries. Okay, could you remind me of the history and origins of the Fatebinders? Wow, we are a relatively young order, though we have spanned these past 2 centuries, while the voices of Narat and Graven Ash need armies to execute their will. Tunon wields but a modest court of vassals. We exist as the extension of his law. There is no place in all of Tyranny beyond our judgment. Tell me more about Kairos' armies, our allies. Ah yes, with friends like these, our work is often self-explanatory. Were you asking about the Scarlet Chorus or the Disfavored? The Scarlet Chorus. Okay. The soldiers hail from every corner of every realm. As the chorus marches, it conscripts indiscriminately from those it has conquered to replenish its ranks. There's no continuity of command in the chorus. Narat encourages even the strongest to challenge their leaders. But the chorus has numbers, and brute force is almost always a viable solution, much as Rogalus insists otherwise. Besides, the Scarlet Chorus draws strength from the multitudes it swallows. Its blood chanters have taken knowledge from the various tiers mystics, and many of the chorus' best soldiers were grown here in the south. The Disfavored are the iron tip of Kairos' great phalanx, armored with the best weapons and the most comprehensive training, and led by the brilliant Graven Ash. The Disfavored have no equals in open battle. The Legion has a saying, Graven Ash protects, and it's no empty boast. The Arcana of War is able to lend his will and strength to his whole soldiers and give them endurance beyond human limits. I have great respect for the Disfavored, but I know where I stand with them. They are a very close-knit band, all of them from northern families, many of them related to each other. But considering our role in the great hierarchy, I can't fault General Ash for being selective. I've claimed the spire at Vendrian Well. So the court's whispers are true. Someday I would like to witness for myself this tower that has risen above the realms like a blade thrust into the sky. I would hear of your past victories in the war of the recent events. Have you not yet tired of my tales, Guy? I do admit I never tire of telling them. Very well then, let me champion the feats of my conquest. Let the glory of Kairos' reign fall on any ears that would hear of it. You may be interested to know that, as of late, I've entreated a forge-bound smith to craft me an iron sword, one he claims will not break in battle. However, and rather unfortunately, there appears to be an extended period of delay for the delivery of goods promised even for a Fatebinder. Whew, okay, that was a mouthful. Let's talk to Callio. Guy, I see you've returned to the fold. Your exploits in Vendrian's Well are the matter of some discussion. What can I do for you? Has anything happened while I was away? Nunaval was dispatched to Stalwart to break the stalemate between the locals and the Disfavored. He proclaimed Kairos' Edict of Swords. Okay, so I get it. Shattering the country with winds unending. You seem to know much of my actions. Have you been spying on me? Don't act so surprised. It's my duty to ensure that those who operate under the Adjudicator's name adhere to the spirits of his law, if not the very letter. And those who don't will be dealt with swiftly and efficiently at the point of Bladenmark's blade. Of course. That is assuming I don't dispatch them first. I take my duty seriously, and I am very, very good at it. How have you occupied your time in the Bastard City? Tunon sends me on assignments here and there. I settle disputes between the locals when the adjudicator is otherwise occupied. Everything from the trade disagreements to pushing chorus squatters out of basements. Real rewarding work. The glory of war is not an honor reserved for the likes of us. We're the fish swimming in Tunon's wake, picking up scrap along the way. We're rather large and imposing compared to the bottom feeders of the tiers, but fish all the same. I'd like to know more about Tunon. Tunon is our overlord's fair and exacting adjudicator. He speaks with the voices of Kairos' law, and his word is judgment. All of this and more you can learn by asking him yourself. Go on, or does he intimidate you still? I jest, of course. I have some concerns about the war. We cannot crush the opposition with such weak efforts. We are too lenient. Our armies squabble at each other's throats. Divided, we cannot win. Peace cannot follow such cruelty. Bloodshed and brutality reign supreme. Peace cannot follow such cruelty. Such is the price of conquest. We will bring order to the land ruled by greed and corruption. When we've shown them the true face of Kairos, the masses will weep their gratitude and beg for our favor. So I can do all of these. Okay, cool. Okay.
Will do.
Let's talk to these guys. Let's see if they want to talk. Aurora? Avoid making eye contact. Oh, okay. Ceres. I am duty-bound to remain civil to you in this vaunted court, but don't push it, traitor. Fatebinder. I'm still at ease in this polished hall, but I admit that it's a reprieve from the battlefield and training grounds. If Ash needs me to stay here and represent his interests throughout the occupation, then I'll be up to the task. I can't be worse than our days in Lethian's Crossing. Joking aside, you were generous to grant the disfavored control over the city. Even the Iron Legion needs a break from the front every once in a while. Okay. I mean, I did something. I try. Mocking Blaze. She nods. Okay. Bit equipped. Nightshot making Vendrians well in one piece. Blood Mulch. Fatebinder. You're no stranger to Tunon's court, but I prefer to spend as little time here as possible. In spite of these closed walls, I feel strangely exposed. So good on you to join our little family with the voices. We'll make you feel right at home. You'll make our time in the tiers an interesting one, won't you? Of course you will. Alrighty then, so... let's go talk to Tunon. And tell him of everything that happened, probably. Hello.
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kairos' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers.
I agree, Your Honor.
Our allies squabble while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage. and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus.
Okay.
Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the Tiers.
What if I find them both blameless? Could they both be guilty?
It's possible, but the momentum of the conquest up to this point suggests otherwise. The failure at Vendrian's Well implies a coordinated will behind the chaos. As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name, but you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing. You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice. They say the voices of Nerat holds you in higher regard than most. Use this alliance to enter his confidence. It seems unlikely the Archon of Secrets is more honest with friends than with rivals, but to his friends, he has been known to divulge much. The disfavored will likely be less cooperative with your investigation. They will no doubt assume Graven Ash's honor is beyond reproach, which is all the more reason to scrutinize the Archon of War closely. And if the ironclad forces discourage your inquiry, I charge you to make them talk. Speak their language of battle if you must.
Okay. Okay.
Your fellow Fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brothers and sisters of the court if you need further counsel. The disfavored have made use of the Sage's network of dovecotes and messenger birds as they come under capture. I've heard multiple claims of strategic communications gone missing.
Okay.
The Sages are broken, their citadel in flames, but they were not slaughtered to the last. Some of their numbers still congregate around the smoking husk of their burning library. If they have been reading disfavored communications, learn what they learned, then execute them.
Ooh.
The Oathbreakers were reported to be using iron armaments, more than they might acquire from looting what few disfavored they killed. Any iron in the tiers not rusted through was made by forge-bound hands in Lethian's Crossing. Between craftsman and quartermaster, someone let iron fall into enemy hands. Investigate this matter and bring the thieves to justice. There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive topic.
Though it's impossible to gauge from his expression, Tunon seems more wary than usual. What concerns the court, Your Honor?
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kairos, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire.
That I did.
Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
I am in a privileged position to accomplish incredible deeds.
It pleases me that you grasp your role, as long as you temper it with a sense of duty.
Yeah.
Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kairos's army and the local tiersmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential. You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Okay. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title. If your killing spree in the bastard city is any indication, You are no stranger to spreading infamy already. Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Understood. I will be known as a champion of justice.
Good. It falls to us to set a new standard for these southern barbarians. You are dismissed. Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go forth and do my bidding, and bring glory and honor to the tears in Kairos' name.
Oh boy. Level up. Level up. Okay. I want to get basically all of these to 10 so that I'm at the base point. Yes, save. Oh crap, Lord almighty. Power. Oh, I can do this. Sure, let's do that. A trial of Archons. Evidence against Graven Ash. All uncovered evidence will be listed here. Disfavored soldiers wanted access to the Twin Rivers Old Walls. Can I speak with you? Oh yeah, okay. I thought he was gone. Apparently we can speak with him again. Your turn. Is it gratifying to see that the war has not caused you to forget your roots? What is it you wish to know? I have a request from Barak of the Stone Shield. And what does Barak of the Stone Shields want of the court? He has made his displeased known in a loud enough voice to collapse the tears upon each other. He came to inquire if the Forgebound could help remove his armor. If he has become encased in iron, that is none of the court's concern. My Forgebound smiths are occupied crafting weapons for the army, and I would not have their focus diverted to liberate one soldier from his remnant. Stone Shield, do the disfavored not have standards for the upkeep of arms and armor? Is this not one of your Archon's guiding principles? It is, your honor, but I found myself trapped in this junk pile after the Edict of Storms hit Stalwart. If you want to blame anyone, it should be Kairos. The soldier will remain encased in his armor, eccentric though it may be, and all subjects of Kairos are forbidden to aid in its removal. Magic, the likes of which none of us understand, has touched the Stone Shield, and we will not interfere with the will of Kairos. But, I'm trapped! Your Honor, could you not reconsider? I'm surprised and disappointed that you would even ask. Whatever you are trying to prove to your travel companion, The court finds it festering with sympathy and the lack of precedent. Such is the will of Kairos and the will of the court. Ah, you tried, and I suppose that counts for something. The adjudicator didn't say anything about me bending my way out of here, at least. Not that trying has ever made it better. I wish to speak about matters of law. Then you are well situated. I don't think I wanna do that much. Speak with Barrick. Are you okay in there, Barrick? Didn't turn out like you hoped, did it? It shouldn't surprise you that Archon Tunon would not unmake what was wrought by the Overlord's wrath. It didn't turn out. Okay. On the contrary, I suspected little else from the court. The Archon's decision changed nothing. I have persevered to this point. I shall continue to do so for the sake of General Ash and the North. Spoken like a fellow soldier. The bureaucracy doesn't always respect the sacrifices made by those who defend it. If only every member of the court possessed your perspective. There may be another way. Your master was very specific in his sentence. He forbade not only assistance from the Forgebound, but from anyone anywhere in the world. No, the Archon forbade any subject of Kairos to aid you. Perhaps some other way to free you will present itself. Your optimism does you credit, Fatebinder, though I fear it misappealed. Conquest. I oversaw Lethian's crossing during the war. The Forgebound there know me. Knowing you and being willing to brave the Adjudicator's wrath for you are two whole separate things. Let us leave, Fatebinder. I worry that my presence offends these null... whatever. Enlist the aid of the Forgebound not subject to Kairos' law. Oh. Okay. Still don't know how that works. Okay. Let's get a move on. Oops. It's the super stealthy assassin. Welcome back, kid. Amusing as it would have been to watch the edict drop. I guess I'm glad you lived. You have gained wrath? Sided with the Scarlet Chorus, huh? You like secrets and trickery? I don't need morals to win a war. Time was of the essence, but Ash was slow to act. I sided with the Archon that could ensure my survival. What's it to you, Archon of the elderly? What's it to you, Archon of the Elderly? Oh, that hurts. Almost as much as getting your fingernails ripped out. No, wait, sorry, not even close. Were you aiming to wound me with that? I imagine you're off to meet with the voices for, well, whatever it is he has in mind. But first, you and I need to have a little chat. I'm listening. Everyone's keeping an eye on you because you did something nobody has done before. Got a guess as to what that might be? I'm the first Fatebinder to engage in war against an ally soldier. I'm the first Fatebinder to proclaim 2 edicts. First to resolve an edict before its consequences came to pass. No. First Fatebinder to awaken a spire in the old walls. That's pretty much it. I'm the first person to take an evasive stance against your rhetorical questions. What? To awaken the spires, yeah. You're not wrong, that was definitely a shock, but I doubt it's the sole reason you've made the tears tremble. Proclaiming an edict isn't new, neither is surviving or resolving the commandments of an edict, but you're the first to proclaim and resolve the very same edict, and it didn't kill you. In one fell swoop, you survived your second edict, resolved the very one you had proclaimed, and woke an arcane structure that had slept for several centuries. So, why are you telling me this? Did I do something wrong? Calm down, kid. This isn't a list of charges. Persecution isn't part of my job description. Executing a judgment, well, that's another matter. I don't care what you do with the information, but you should know the danger you're in now that you've put yourself on the map. When you're dealing with the voices, don't forget that he'll be doing everything he can to figure out what makes you different, and how he can use it for his own gain. Thanks for the advice. Can we still talk to you? How about a little breathing room, kid? Okay. So, we need to go to Cacophony. Oh my god, that's a long way. Encounter in the Bastard Tier. Clouds hang low over the tiers. The road ahead terminates at the next river. You see a few wooden posts leaning in the mud, the remnants of the bridge that once spanned this gully. The bulk of the bridge is nowhere to be seen. I'd suggest that I walk along the bottom. Were it not for the damnable need to breathe, apologies, Fatebinder, my presence here may hinder your options. Freeze the water. Nice. Smith's Day, Warrior's Day. The names are weird. have control frost. Why do I have that? I don't know. Oh, she replied. Do you remember your training under Blade and Mark? I remember mine. Funny to think that you and I are about a century apart. But to Blade and Mark, we are all children. I'm now the oldest of the court's children, and I've seen much in my time. It's probably for the best everyone assume I'm old, harmless, and worth shuffling away in the archives. If I were scrutinized too closely, I'm sure Tunon would find I've grown lax in my spoiled old age. Part of why I am where I am is that I've kept my head down. You appear to be doing opposite. In some regards, this is beyond your control. You were chosen for the honor of proclaiming Kairos' edicts. Twice. To decline would have meant death, but to accept means to be placed on the stage for all to see. Kairos' most powerful weapon is not the edict, it's her ability to hand us... It's her ability to hand us rope that we willingly use to hang ourselves. Never forget this. So, Kairos is a she? There are numerous questions nestled in your request. What is it you wish to know most? Focus your inquiry and I will answer as I best can. Edicts and their nature. Do you remember your training? Okay, wait. Oh. Why doesn't it, like, jump where it has to? Thank you for hearing me out. I have more questions than I have ink, but let's start with the discussion of Kairos' edicts. I have lived under proclaimed and resolved edicts, which makes me far more knowledgeable than the lay person on the subject, and yet I still know so little. Little cat, little cat. Why do I have frost thing spell? Drain strength. Okay. Hello, welcome to the cacophony, Fatebinder. Nerat said to be expecting you. Where can I find the voices? Northeast corner of the camp, near the only real buildings left. If he's not on his throne, he's wandering not too far from it. Okay. Time to investigate this camp. Vex? Why are you not highlighted?
Is that all? I've got this.
Whoa. You take that. And wear it. No, wait. You wear it. I gotta check something. Just one sec, guys. Alright, let's do a hard save. Okay, let's keep on looking over here. What do we have? Ooh, a dog. Splitter. Take some cheese.
Piece of cake.
Ooh, that's a lot of stuff. Beastman. Beastman. Oh, you got a lot of beastmen here. Let's talk to Splinter. Overlord's blessing to you, Fatebinder. Regards and so on and so forth. Mightn't there be something I could help you with? For the right price? What kind of price? The usual. I help you, you help me. Nothing too steep. Such as? Say I were to give you information and you're acting on that information, then benefited me in some such way or another. Would be a shallow price for a niche payout, if you get what I mean. What were you up to during the war? I'm looking to shed a little blood, make a few rings. Where can you point me? What were you up to during the war? Trying to stay alive, mostly. Heard any rumors lately? Nothing new, only the usual happenstances. So-and-so killing so-and-so in their sleep and absorbing their gang. Leaders from throughout the tiers entering you-know-whose tent and never stepping out again. You know, the usual. The voices doesn't even leave a body. How do you think he does that? No. On second thought, I surely don't want to know. And you did not hear so much as a whisper from me. But I heard some of his victims end up on spikes, no? Sometimes something shows up on the spikes nearest to the voice's tents, sure, but whatever it is, you can't exactly call it a body anymore. I'm looking to shed a little blood, make a few rings. Where can you point me? I might have heard wind regarding a squad of disfavored. They're giving the Bronze Brotherhood a go for it near Lethian's Crossing. Could be some rings in it for you. There's certainly some fingers to be had. You want me to bring back some disfavored fingers? I want every finger from every hand, preferably taken before you kill the poor muckers, eh? Do it and I'll pay you 10 rings each. Don't ask me whether I'm getting the rings, and I'll make it 15. Have a story behind your name, Splinter? Well, I woke up with a sharp pain shooting up my backside one night. And are you sure you want to hear this? Yeah. I guess it was a piece of a chair. At least as long as my forearm. My mate, Abscess, had whittled it up for weeks to stab it in my spine. Only it didn't kill me. Just give me a damn limp. I wouldn't say it was a shoddy weapon. It ended her good and dead when I stuck it in her throat. Okay. Interesting. Dirge and Wrathout. Just what we need, a faint binder of the courts. Look, I understand my rank, but I can't just bite my tongue when boss man dirge things to get away with a crime of such proportions without bribing me first. Frig you, Rathoth. As if you'd settle for a rent rump and a sit full of rings. Admit it, the price you want's my head, so you can stand atop our little crew. The lot of you are bobbling idiots. Alright. What are you on about now? What crime is being charged? A capital one, Fatebinder, and I saw it with my own eyes. 3 nights back, Bossman snuck into and out of the old walls running Wisdom Rise. You shitface. Think you can steal the throne when you're breathing around my blade in your chest? Or maybe it's your crafty forked tongue I should carve out first. Okay. Like I'd be dumb enough to risk my entrails skirling about some fusty ruins. Think I don't know why there's forbidden? Scarring the old walls is just asking to incite Kairos' wrath, and I've got no death wish either from the Bane within, nor Kairos above, nor a Fatebinder of Tunon before me. The old walls are indeed forbidden. There is no leniency in the interpretation of this law. I can sentence you now, Dirge, or I can hear your plea and adjudicate a fair ruling. Yeah, false accusation is an insidious crime. What proof do you have of your claims? Proof? Like what? It's not like I followed him into the old walls so I could properly document his transgressions. I saw him go in and out, chasing that sage. That ought to be evidence enough. If it's solid evidence you need, let's go check where the sage's body lies. A sage in the old walls? What sage? Want to tell the Fatebinder, or should I? The thing is, me and Wrath had been chasing a sage clear from Lethians. I guess she figured she wasn't going to slip us, so she made a beeline for this breach in the old walls. I know the law, so I wasn't about to follow her in. But I'd also be loath to let an enemy of the Overlord settle free, so I cornered her before she could make it past the breach. This asshole here, the one who slit her damn throat as I held her down, now he's saying he watched me waltz right into the old walls without him. Oh, come on, Fatebinder. Are you gonna believe that? I called you over here. I'm telling you what happened. Don't let him vassal out a proper sentence. Only those under direct orders from the Overlord or operating under agency of Tunon's court may enter the old walls. Great, if you think I did it, what's to happen to me then? That's the proper sentence. I'm no Fatebinder, but even I know the way of it. Isn't that right, Fatebinder? It's a capital offense. Actually, I'm going to sentence Rathart. Actually, I'm going to sentence Rathart. You what? The penalty for false accusation is the severance of 2 fingers on the sword-bearing hand. I'll let Rathod choose his own punishment, a fine of 300 rings or 3 years of hard labor. I'll let Rathod off the hook if he licks my boots and begs my apology. Wait, what? He'll never... Okay, I'll make him lick Barrack's boots. Ha! Oh, that's glorious. No, please. Do go ahead, Rathard. I'll watch. Well, that'll teach him to never ask a Fatebinder anything, I suppose. Wait, Lantry? I got minor fear, I suppose, if that's the precedent you wish to set. The choices of punishment is a good touch. Friggin' quarts of tuna, eh? When they ever helped a fella out? Fucking disfavored, and damn you, Dirge. Forgive me, Fatebinder, please. A most amusing demonstration of your authority, Fatebinder. Yes, it was amusing. Beastman. Who are you again? Vex. Are you a trader? I'm not allowed to sell anything to you. Oh, okay. Oh, Fish, 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 fish. Blood Chanter.
Sorry, I can't. Sorry, I can't.
Ooh,
What have we
nice.
here?
So, who are you? Sanguinari. Okay. Not interesting. Sickle Notch and the Lions. We need the bodies, you melding pissers. Unlike you cocker pignets, these conscripts can survive a battle. So they say to save their necks, but what good's the word of oathbreakers and cowards? What's going on here? Fatebinder, yes, Fatebinder. Good of you to come along. You just saved this Fury's neck. I find that unlikely. Scarlet Furies don't surrender their necks to anyone without a fight. Your guts would have pulled around your feet before that happened. A damn slew of Oathbreakers came crawling to us less than a fortnight ago, so we trussed the lot up like beastmen for roast. Why should we welcome liars and defectors to guard our barracks, our backs? Come now, Fatebinder, you're a clever sort. Tell us your thoughts. We ought to throw them in the pit. let the lone survivor join us. It's the way of the chorus, right, boss? The pit serves for merriment and to weed out fen-sucked weaklings like you. In this case, it would be but a waste of resources. These are part of the splinter that held off this disfavored adventurers well for many months. We should integrate them into my unit of Furies. You sure want me to weigh in? If I do, I'll be as an official envoy of the courts. I'll be sated to have the squabbling done with. But we can't win a war with only fish-necked slaters and sea of blood. We need skilled fighters to wield our blades. The Scarlet Chorus doesn't lack for me to throw at the enemy, but is always in need of experience, if you ask me. Those with training should go to the Scarlet Furies. Anything less would be a waste of talent. We might be made a tiersman, but we're loyal to Kairos. The chorus ain't an open cattle call to any turncoat who's got a sharpened weapon and a decent pair of boots. Toss them in the pit, boss, and I'll donate a share of the proceeds to you. Okay, they can go to the Furies. I'll see them assigned to my suicide mission at once. If the hemp hackers can survive that, then they'll be worthy to serve my Furies. Growing the army is the only way they can win this war. We do well to remember that. Alright. We have done another dispute. Let's go over here. Let's talk to these guys. We've got a problem we can't settle, Fatebinder. When we plotted against vile arson, we agreed we'd split the spoils 4 ways. But now that the rings, rugs, and booze bottles are laid bare before us, seems some folk feel entitled to more than their fair share. You want me to adjudicate a settlement between thieves? Who's vile arson? A deranged pisser of a man and our old gang boss. He deserved everything he got and more. He stole whole cartfuls of rings and polished stones after Azure crumbled. We dug the items up, hauled bags of them all over the place, but got none of the payoff. Plus, he used to beat Calamity Jin and Gnashing Nils for fun. You want me... Only those two? He didn't beat the rest of you? Well, he tried once. Requiem looked out for us. Have laid off the rest of us. We might have let him live. Okay. Thieves? We didn't filch nothing. We killed vile arson and took his property by right of the circle of fifths. Lil Nash and Nils is right. As our weakest, she's earned a right to those spoils, most of all for the abuse vile arson heaped on her over the years. I'll hear your plea if everyone is in agreement of my involvement. I certainly am. I'd like to settle this and put it behind us. What of the rest of you? I also am interested in the Fateminder's ruling. Let an outsider weigh in. Surely then you'd see the greater weight of my contribution. Are you sure? I've heard bad things about inviting the court's judgment. Once the Fatebinder gets involved, their ruling is absolute, isn't it? Okay, I guess I'll go along with. Doesn't matter to me. I already decided to give up my share. I just wanted the bastard dead. Then let us proceed. Tell me what happened and I'll determine how the goods should be dispersed. I'll hear you out, but know that my judgment may comment. We all got tired of being cut on and watching him torture Nils. So when Requiem suggested the plan, I was eager to lure him into our trap. Had to use my finest hooch. I brewed it in a bronze boot and I found on the battlefield, but after a couple hours I had him nice and relaxed, stripped him of his armor and distracted him after that. That's when I snuck out from under the straw bedding. Arson never did anything. Eat, sleep, or shit without a weapon, but we'd hobbled him enough that I was able to hack him to ribbons. Eventually, he started crawling for the flap of the tent, where Requiem had stationed me. I slit Arson's throat to end it, dismembered his body, and spent the night scattering his bits between the fighting pit, 2 latrines, and salivating beastmen. It was bloody and long work, but it was damn worth it. I just stood watch a few tents down. I'm sure someone heard the screams, but no one came running, so it worked out fine. So, you each seem equally satisfied with the outcome of events. Why are you fighting over the goods then? I guess it's just in our nature. If we don't take what we can, when we can get it, then will we ever get ahead? How? Okay. Who will lead you in Val Arson's absence? Requiem, she saved us. Requiem. I'd follow these girls into the screaming jaws of death if they asked me to. I don't care which one's leading. Okay. Come on, Fatebinder. Oh boy. The majority of the share will go to Nanish Nils in recompense for the crimes she suffered at the hands of Val Arson, which reportedly motivated his death. The rest will be split evenly amongst you. The goods are to be split evenly 4 ways, as this is the most fair and expedient resolution to your dispute. None of you are entitled to the wealth. You'll destroy the cash, as it's caused a squabble between you. Half of the shares will go to Requiem for her proactive organization of the mutiny. The other half will be allocated to cover my legal fees. For luring Arson into a trap, half of the shares will go to Clementic Jin. The rest will split evenly between you. You know what? Just split it evenly. No, they did it for her, right? Okay, you get the most. Hush, Nils, it's a good and fair ruling. If I can't get my full share, I'd see it go to Nils anyways. I've got no complaint with it. Take what you've owned, Nils. Here's to hoping she buys some capable gear before someone kills her for those rings. Okay. Wait, can we actually talk with you again? No, you already gave us something to do. Oh, a lot of beasts. Beast woman. This guy has a weapon. Sniff, sniff. Okay, a lot of beast men. Enemies of the Scarlet Chorus who have not yet earned a spike. Okay. So 7 toes. The voices of Narat. Oh boy, this should be good. Oh, well, look at that. Bodies of disfavored commanders. Nice. Can we do anything here?
Sorry, I can't.
No. Oh, okay.
Ain't that odd?
Can we actually get that from behind him? Elixir of quickness. I think it's a permanent thing. I think it's a permanent thing. Okay. Let's talk to Seven Toes. Okay, fine. Let's talk to the voices. No voice acting? Aww. Fatebinder, it seems a lifetime ago that we bandied words with the Archon of Greybeards in the war tent. We are so pleased to see you return to our fold. As if proclaiming and resolving the same edict weren't impressive enough, you found the temerity to reject Graven Ash and support our right to conquer these lands. You deserve a just reward when this is over, but it's too early to congratulate ourselves while there's plenty of war still to fight. What do you need to know? We're dizzy with answers. So what's your plan? I'm ready to talk strategy. I want to ask you about your power. You are a remarkable person. We must concede to your flattery, but we can't boast anything as incredible as power, can we? They say you are interrogator without equal. What's your secret? We are full of secrets, and we can't be expected to share them with the boring masses. We're certain that you have a few of your own, and wouldn't want them brought to light. But we do love a flatterer, don't we? A kind word here and there is enough to melt the coldest of hearts, of which we have several. I'm ready to learn anything you'll teach me. Teach you? Impudent ambition, little morsel. Our lessons come at a steep price. You will come to learn of us in time. Observe the working of cacophony. Observe our grand design. One day, our talents will be laid before you. They say, okay, what happens after you interrogate someone? It's a transcendence experience. The subject and I, we grow to trust, depend upon, and even love each other. We have long since learned that pain and the intensity of our conversation make strange bedfellows. Applied together, anything can happen. You never know. One day you might experience it yourself. Have you ever tried to absorb another Archon? It amuses us to no end that you would bring that up. Joy. A brave question full of meaning, questions of challenge. We have had occasions to execute an Archon or two when Blade and Mark was unavailable. This was all with the limits of the law, you understand. Someone gets an inflated sense of self-importance and decides to start their own small empire, and we step forward to volunteer our services. The experience was always less fulfilling than we had hoped. Their personality succumbs to us, but none of their power. A waste of potential, we call it. Is your knowledge limitless? What a question. We know many things beyond the purview of the disgusting farmers and merchants you'll find outside of our vaunted stronghold, much more than any of them could learn in 100 lifetimes. When you know as much as we do, this much will seem obvious. Nothing is limitless, child. So what's your plan? Would you tell me something about yourself? Why, we're honored that you would ask. Sometimes, when we close our eyes, we see a vast dry plain occupied by a man who walks in circles, circles that grow tighter with each revolution. But we suspect that isn't what you want to know. Yes, that's exactly it. Tell me more. You want more? Well, we're happy to indulge. We once challenged the Archon of Winds to a foot race. We won by planting a lackey at the finish line beforehand, wearing a believable replica of our mask. We got to call her the Archon of Gullibility for a decade. It's like we always said, if the Beastman tribes recognize a quarter of their potential, they could devastate Kairos' forces. Keep listening. Tunon's gavel is only as powerful as his lawful right to wield it. Think about that. Does it muddle your senses to imagine how? Why do we want to? Okay. But have you plumbed the ocean's depths or peered into the spaces between stars? If people saw the world through our eyes, they wouldn't call us mad. We once dropped the seventh eye down a crevice just to see what was at the bottom. We were surprised to find the Archon talks at great length, leading you down a labyrinth of rhetoric and once... Okay. That was incredible. Thank you. The pleasure is ours, Resplendent Fatebinder. It's rare that we have a captive audience, but it is always amusing. I'm actually curious about your history. By all means, then. Or would you pry secrets from our green flame, or luxuriate in the calming winds of our brilliance? Well, you cannot. Every secret is as precious to us as 1,000 lies, and we will consign you to the interrogators if we find you stealing even a recipe for hardtack. I don't wish to steal your secrets, Archon. I only learn from your brilliance. Have at us then. You may question us to your heart's content. Show mercy. Why do you speak yourself plural form? That much should be obvious. Okay, we're multitudes. Got that. Your body, the green flames. Why? We are greater than your confines. No stable form can house our magnificence. No mind could house our intellect. Okay, intellect. Do you ever hear yourself? You are art. Yes, and you are a receptive audience. You understand us more than many have tried, or even will. Tell me of your rise to power. In our youth, we were the youngest scion of House Narat. Those would be the early years of Kairos' reign, if numbers make any difference to your fragile matter. The Northern Empire wasn't the bastion of order and peace as we know it today. Our gracious overlord contended with seditions and lawlessness from his subjects, from his enemies, and even from the noble house of Narat. Whispers spread, as whispers do. House Narat never lacked in petty neighbors and bitter rivals. You must remember that these were delicate years of the overlord. An accusation of treason was as damning as treason itself. Something had to be done before we fell under the shadows of our family's guilt. How did you escape the shadows of guilt? We did what came natural, of course. We took initiative. Before any accusations could fly, we had our family driven to the city square and pillared among the masses of Kairos unfaithful. Before the shocked eyes of the community, we interrogated them one by one, flaying their skin with tanner knives and putting their loyalties to the test. Father, mother, sister, aunts, all of them questioned. All of them found guilty. Were they guilty? We don't remember. We remember choosing to survive, and we remember the sound of skin peeling away from the muscle. The rest was formality. Sorry, just one. Stop it. Joy is messing with something. It was all a demonstration for the Overlord. This one can be trusted. A message that was gratefully received. Our devotion to Kairos was the terror and pride of the community. House Narad needed to be cleansed of treachery. If you truly believe so, then you are beginning to think like an Archon. You said the Archon of Misery offered a better life. Back to my previous questions. So what's your plan? I'm ready to talk strategy. Of course you have questions. We'd be disappointed if you didn't have any. Our first priority is to humiliate the piss bucket Graven Ash, but we will have a better chance of it once every corner of the tiers is wearing red. Do you see our design, Fatebinder? Does our madness complement our method? We will invite every man, woman, or child who draws breath and occupies this fingernail of peninsula to join the Scarlet Chorus. If you can't outfight the disfavored, out-recruit them. A conquest by invitation. How very polite. isn't it? Graven Ash would slash and burn this whole continent. We must counter his wanton evil with acceptance and tolerance for these poor tearsmen. Conquest is a delicate matter. It needs feeding, watering, soft cares, a lullaby before bed. We will invite the leaders of the resistance to join us. If we have their leaders, the people will follow. You will bring them to us, yes? Chiefs and the assets of chiefdom? As for how you factor into these plans, that is a part that part is up to you. We have many ingots in the fire. It's more of a question of what piques your interests. A document of great power, the silent archive, rests in the burning library. The archive is said to hold many secrets, any of which we can't twist to our advantage. One of our gang bosses, the censor, seeks the entrance to this queenly treasure. Aid her in the search and dispatch her back to us with any findings. Tunon's arcane smiths set up shop in Lethian's Crossing. With simple ore dredged from the heart of the Toratus, they can assemble wondrous crafts of iron. Our intellect swells, overfull with secrets, yet we are ignorant to the iron secret. Seek out the Forgebound and their master, who even now makes for Lethian's Crossing. Have her sent to Cacophony. I will guarantee her protection and safeguard her knowledge. An artist such as herself needs to be shielded from the perils of war. According to the whispers of our spies, a greybeard by the name of Eldian may be able to tell you more. We are nothing if not receptive of the wisdom of age. Report back to us when you're finished. Our intelligence may be of use to you. Looks like I'm bound for... Okay. Do not forget our prize, Fadebinder. The silent archives, we will essential wisdom itself. What can you tell me about the burning library? Oh boy. You can talk a lot. Okay. We'll do that afterwards. Oh, you can talk to him now. Seven toes. It feels like a century since we ran together in Old Asia. You had more hair. I had all 10 toes. And better balance too. I've always saw myself as more of a gang boss, but in the end I carved out this cozy little niche for myself. By the time this war is done, we'll be unrecognizable, either lining a mass grave or leading forces from the rear. Isn't that right, big boy? It's true that I no longer resemble myself, but under this armor I am still every bit the Northerner who Ash recruited. Some things will never change. So, what do you need from me? Nothing right now. Right now, we're gonna save game. The Lethians. Oh, so we can still do that. Oh boy. These are a lot of things. A lot. Alright, like I said, I saved, and it's time for us to say goodbye. Guys, thank you so much for dropping by as usual. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day and a great weekend upon you. Other than that, I wish you all, I don't know, all well. I'll see you guys back again on Monday. Okay, bye-bye.